I believe it's on. Jose, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Alex. What's happening? How you been?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, thank you so much for hopping on a call with me. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was talking to some clients last week, and one of the questions came up was, "Hey, Alex, with the whole social distancing and all the rules and regulations in place, how do we perform a home inspection? How do we do all this stuff, right?"
Okay.
And I was like, I am no expert at home inspection. Let me guide you in the right direction and connect you with Jose, the owner of BlueStar Home Inspection, and he can explain how he does business. And I thought maybe we can shoot a video and I'll put this out on Facebook afterwards and YouTube so people can go back and look at it. So tell us, a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing it, and how is this whole COVID-19 affecting your business and what changes you're adapting to.
Okay. So yeah, definitely with the COVID-19, we definitely made some changes as far as even doing reviews with clients. Reviews normally happens at the end of the inspection. We do the property inspection. Things that we find, we go over with the client and even the agent. Some agents like to be there, some don't. And we kind of go over those items with them in person, not just go over it in a report, because I mean, a report can be very it can be scary, especially if you don't understand it. For us, we're used to it. We do it every day. Same thing with agents, but with the client, especially a first-time homeowner, they don't really understand like what they're looking at. So we rather just show them in person and physically show them some of the items that we do find, not just in a laptop or in a computer. We physically like to show them and get them familiar with the house. But right now, due to this COVID-19, we're we're stepping back a little bit. Okay. We're taking some precautions now. At first, when it all started, there was really no client review. We went in there, we did the home inspection, and then we sent the report, and then we kind of, we did video calls or we called them and told them about the items that we found. But now that it's, gotten a little bit more lenient, now there's actually a little bit of structure in place.
Okay.
Now we're kind of incorporating the client reviews again, but we're taking some precautions. And one of the things that we're taking as precaution, I'm going to just show you some of the things that we're using now. Is everybody's aware of these face masks, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a bundle, right?
You got a bundle of them.
Yeah, I got a bundle of them. Yeah, so definitely stocked up for them, especially for this. But every time we go into a property, even if it's vacant, occupied, it doesn't matter. We're wearing face masks. The other thing that we're wearing is we're wearing gloves. Got to wear gloves. Okay, these are a little bit thicker gloves. These are not your average type general use. It's more of a mechanic glove, so it's a much tighter glove. It fits really good, and it helps us with our iPads and touching things and stuff like that. We're able to feel it more, which is it's a good quality glove. The other thing that we're doing is as soon as we go into a property, once we're done, everything that we touch, everything that we put our bag in, things like that, we get some sanitizing wipes. We're definitely wipe everything down. We're taking those little added on precautions. The other thing that we also wear into the property, it doesn't matter if it's vacant or occupied, we're wearing booties as well, disposable booties.
Okay.
I don't have those with me, they're in my vehicle, but we got a huge box of them, and we're starting to kind of do that for every inspection that we're doing. And same thing, we're maintaining that 6-foot distance, just like the CDC recommends as guidelines, is keeping that distance away from each other. And we're having a good time doing it. We're learning, the client's learning, so we're all just kind of adapting to it. So.
Yeah. So you are meeting clients at the property.
Yes, a lot of them, for the most part, that can make it, and that can respect those guidelines. Yeah, for sure. Normally we have just from history, when people are excited about their home purchase, right? They tell their friends, their relatives, they tell everybody and their mom, right? And sometimes even at inspections, they'll show the whole family comes, right? The whole squad.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Everybody, yeah, even neighbors will show up. And
Yeah.
it's like right now, it's just the people that are buying it, the essential, the husband, the wife, or, the guy, the girl, things like that,
The property owner. That's it.
The property owners, the ones that are actually buying the house, yes. It's not the time right now to try to bring your kids or anything like that. Just, keep them in the vehicle. You can go over the items with them, yourself. But for the most part, we want the homeowners to be there,
Gotcha.
to understand, what's going on with the property.
Yeah, and I've had some clients who are like, absolutely not comfortable, right, getting out of their house, but they still want to buy a house,
Yeah, and everything's kind of done virtually. And even for those clients that don't want to be there, we can definitely do a FaceTime if they have iPhones. or like I said, they're going to get the report. We can go over it in detail with them. And so they're able to fully understand what's going on with the property. What's the major concerns? What's the stuff that's kind of an improvement item? What's part of maintenance that just hasn't been done? Things like that. Get them a good understanding of the way the property is.
Okay.
Because the report can be scary.
Yeah. No, it's like a 50, 60-page report.
Yeah, depending.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of the property.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming. And I always tell the clients that, hey, hear out what the home inspector has to say. Listen to the red flags, right? The bigger concerns that are can turn into a big issue down the road. And just don't look at the quantity and don't panic. Just
and that's the thing is, especially when they're not there, they'll look at a report and they'll look at an improvement list, and that item is typically the biggest list of items that's defective with the property or that needs some attention, or some maintenance that needs to be done to it. And it can become scary, and then you look at the major concerns and you only see, two things, whether it's a roof problem or AC problem, or even some small plumbing issues. But definitely to go over those items with them so they fully understand that, hey, it's normal. This stuff is, no house is perfect. Even new construction, we run into problems all the time, with new construction. So get those guys inspected as well. Don't just rely on the builder, especially if the build is behind on schedule. A lot of times they tend to take shortcuts, right? So we end up going into a property and inspecting it, and some of the drains might not work correctly, some electrical issues. I've done quite a bit of attic inspections on new construction. There's literally no insulation up there, none, zero.
Wow.
So they just kind of forget, and it's like, well, how do you forget that? But it does happen, So get it inspected.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, look, while I have you on here, I have a couple of questions, right? Number one, what are the big 2 or 3 big items that a client should look for in a home inspection report?
In a report, honestly, the biggest things that people should be concerned about is obviously the structure, right? Make sure that the foundation's good, the framing of it is good. And the biggest items are going to be the roof-related items, plumbing, electrical, any of those items. Everything else is just kind of cosmetic, little holes on the wall. The counters might have some broken tiles. Flooring tiles might be damaged, stains on the wall, stains on carpet, window blinds, all that stuff that you can change and you can improve as you live there and make it your own. You can, especially if you're going into the house thinking that, hey, I'm going to remodel it, I'm going to put granite, some quartz countertop, things like that. A lot of those things are going to get fixed as you live there because you're going to upgrade it.
Right.
You need to focus on the bigger items, AC problems, electrical, plumbing, things like that. Structural components, not the cosmetic stuff. That stuff you can definitely change it as you live there and make it better, make it your own, right? Your style.
Okay, fair enough. And the one other I was talking to a client this week, and he says, a home inspector like yourself, what services do they cover, right? And I was like, I know they inspect almost 99% of the house, right? But can you tell us a little bit in details, what is it that you're looking for mainly, and what is it that you look for, and what is it that you don't inspect?
Okay. Typically, I know that's some of the biggest questions that we get is like, what do you cover and what don't you cover?
Right.
We pretty much cover all aspects of the house. One of the things that we don't inspect is like fountains, koi ponds, small little waterfall features. Now, if it's built into the pool or something like that, then of course, the pool, the spa, those are all added on services, but we definitely inspect those. But what we don't inspect really is like a sprinkler system. I mean, if we have time and the client's there, we'll turn it on for them so they get familiar with it. But just because of how it's not intensive, but how many sprinkler heads, how many different drip systems and all that are in place, I mean, it can make the report seem much bigger, right? So we kind of don't incorporate that. A lot of times with the sprinkler system, you always have to make some adjustments, replace some sprinkler heads. So it's pretty common. But if we do see a sprinkler system, we note it on the report, hey, it does have a sprinkler system. It was not tested, things like that. But for the most part.
So you do go on the roof. You do go out and check the AC out. You check the
we definitely go on the roof. We go on the roof. We go on the attic. We look at the ducting, the AC, the framing, the plumbing. At the end of the day, it's a visual inspection. It's not an invasive inspection. So we're not going to sit there and cut walls, see what's behind there, or, tear up a cabinet, make sure it doesn't have any dry rot in the bottom of the cabinet. If we can't physically see it, then hey, we noted on the report that hey, we recommend further evaluation, or to get a contractor in there to figure out what's going on, things like that. So.
Got it. Awesome. And then what are some of the other services? You mentioned earlier they're added on services. What are examples of that, or what are those added on services?
Some of the added on services are like if the property has a pool, we'll inspect the pool. A spa, that's also an added on service. The other thing that we also do is we partnered up with American Termite. So if they want to schedule a termite as well, so that agent or the buyer does not have to do it, we just send the work order to them and they'll go ahead and schedule it typically the same day. And then the report, they'll get it the same day, if not the following day, just like we do with our inspection reports. The other thing that we do also is we do mold testing. So if the property does have mildew or mold or probable mildew or mold, we'll go in there and we'll do a mold sample, whether it's a swab sample, a tape sample, or air quality sample. We'll definitely do that as well as an added on service.
Okay. How much is this approximately?
Typically, for which one? For the pool 70. If it's a spa, just a spa only, it's 50. If it's a pool in combo, which means it has a spa built into with the pool, it's $100. The mold inspection, it'll come with the mold inspection report and also the mold findings from the lab. It starts at $300, and then every sample after that is only $50.
Got it. So what are your prices for the home inspection report and stuff for that?
Okay, so on our pricing, it changes. It's all based on square footage. Our biggest thing is to find out how big the property is, so we can go ahead and take a look at it. Let me go ahead and pull up our prices so you can. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think I can join it, but so if the property is less than 1,200, it's $275. It's going to be one of the cheapest around. If it's anywhere from 1,200 to 1,800, it's $325. And then if it's 1,800 to 2,200, it's $350. If it's anywhere from 2,200 all the way to 2,600, it's $375. 2,600 to 3,000, it's $425. 3,000 to 3,500 is $450. And then anything from between 35 to 5,000, it's $500.
So 500 up to 5,000 and starts off at 275 on 1,200.
Yeah, from pretty much that's the average. Yeah, the average is anywhere from 275 to 375.
Okay.
For average size homes.
Yeah. No, I mean, 14, 1,500, I think those are the average size homes. So.
Yeah, and those are 325. Yeah. Normally everybody else is like 350, 375 up to 400. That's 325.
Awesome, man. Is there anything else do you want to say about the home inspection where that clients should be aware of?
No, if they're always if you're buying a house or you're thinking about buying a house, always get it inspected. Whether it's our company or someone else, get it inspected. Don't just rely on the looks of it, because things can be very pretty, but we all know that they can be kind of ugly from the inside, right? Well, same thing happens with the house. Things, it can look really nice. The contractor or the person that remodeled the property, or even the homeowner, if they fixed a lot of the items, you don't know the type of work that they've done. You don't know if the AC works, dishwasher works, oven works. It can look pretty, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. The other thing is there's a lot of advantages to getting a home inspection, especially if you're trying to save money and not get it. I mean, it's bad, especially because you want to find out as much information you can about one of the biggest investments you're going to make in your life, right? Buying a house is going to be one of the biggest ones. So you want to have somebody take a look at it. Don't just rely on the looks of it, because it could be very deceiving. Not only that, but when the inspector, and trust me, we will find items wrong with the property.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, so let's say on an average inspection, right? You talked about the square footage, anywhere from 14 to 1,700. That's an inspection fee of $325. So we go in there, we do a property inspection for $325. We find that the AC, something's going on with the AC. It's not getting cold like it should. There's some roof problems, and it has a pool. So there's something going on with the pool pump. If they have to replace the pool pump, you're talking about anywhere from $800 to $1,200, right? Easy. Now, if it's AC problem and they need to add Freon, they need to chase a leak or something like that, it's anywhere from, depending on the gas, anywhere from $300 to $1,000, right? If it's roof related, to get a roof cert, $250 plus the work, maybe $450, right? You're in it probably, I don't know, I'm not a mathematician, but anywhere $2,700 to get just those three items taken care of. That the seller, chances are, hopefully, the seller will pay or will get it taken care of. Yeah. The inspection fee cost you how much?
$325.
Exactly. So that saved you how much?
quite a bit of
Well
money.
over, well, yeah, quite a bit of money, well over $2,000.
Yeah.
So it definitely pays for itself if you look at it in that aspect.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's awesome, man. Okay, cool. Well, hey, look, once again, thank you so much for hopping on. One last thing, how do people get a hold of you? Um, how do they schedule appointments? I know I usually just call you directly or send out an email, and that's taken care of. But what if somebody just stumbles upon your video online and they want to call you and schedule an appointment? How do they do that?
they can give me a call at 661-706-0658, or they can jump on our website at BlueStarInspections.us. You can find us on Yelp, Google, Facebook. Just Google Bluestar Inspections and you'll find us. You'll get a hold of us.
Awesome. Awesome. Fair enough. Well, Jose, hey, thank you so much for taking time out of your day on this Sunday afternoon. And I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it, man. You have a good day. All right.
You
Appreciate
too.
it.
Take care. Bye,
Bye.
buddy.